Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So apparently some people are really not taking this stuff seriously. These allegations concerning the baby oil and the lubricant that P. Devil Combs was using whenever he was allegedly, you all know I have to say allegedly, brutalizing people. People thought it was a joke when they said there was something wrong with those substances. I mentioned in the previous video that the baby oil and the lubricant was confiscated for a reason. Whenever your house is raided, it's not just raided for no reason. If they're taking something, it's for a reason. Allegedly, that reason, as I had discussed in the previous video, we're going a little more in depth in this about it, is because there was allegedly illegal pharmaceuticals, so to speak, in the baby oil and the lubricant. You all know I have to say allegedly, and then allegedly. Now, this article first talks about the illegal pharmaceuticals that was allegedly put into the drinks, that was allegedly used to spike the drinks, because allegedly P. Devil Combs was out here spiking people's drinks. That was one of the main themes, unfortunately, of his alleged freak-offs, the parties, anytime he was around someone, spiking drinks so that they could not stop him from doing what he wanted to them, and having them in a mental state where they probably would not be able to remember all the details or really understand what was going on in that moment. The alleged drugs he was allegedly using to allegedly spike people's drinks with, allegedly may have been GHB. And I quote, "The complaints allege that Combs particularly fancied the use of the popular date R drug Rohypnol, or GHB, to commit heinous non-consensual acts of sexual violence and the R word against countless victims." End quote. Now, this article does point out, allegedly, apparently, Rohypnol and GHB are not the same, but they are used interchangeably throughout these different complaints. I hate calling them complaints, but that's what the article is listing them as, considering them as. That's what they call them. I guess it's the legal jargon, the technical jargon. Once again, Rohypnol is the illegal pharmaceutical, if you will, that we all know as a roofie, the date R word drug. Now, as for the baby oil and the lubricant, and I quote, "There are also allegations of Combs dousing victims in lotions or similar body oils, also laced with GBH, so that the drug would be absorbed through the victim's skin and make it easier to take advantage of, exploit, and assault him or her," the complaints read. Not only was this man out here allegedly spiking the drinks and they were ingesting it internally without their knowledge, allegedly, he was also allegedly spiking things like baby oil and lubricant, putting it on them, probably after they had already ingested these spiked drinks, already getting high out of their minds, unbeknownst to them, without their consent, without their knowledge, and then whatever he was putting on them that he had allegedly spiked with more drugs was being absorbed through their skin. Essentially, their body is taking in all of these drugs at the same time in different ways, causing them to either black out, be unconscious, be there but not there mentally, like their body is there but mentally they're gone in the moment. There was one man who alleged he was paralyzed, probably due to this mixture of alleged drugs that he had going on. There was one young lady who filed in a lawsuit that she took something unbeknownst to her and that it made her to where she could not move, but unfortunately she was conscious and awake the entire time she was being brutalized by allegedly him and allegedly someone else. The entire ordeal she was awake for, and she had to witness them doing this to her. She did not black out. She felt and witnessed it all under the influence of the drugs, causing her to not be able to move. Y'all, this is a horrible thing. That is a horrible thing for a person to have to go through. You know, I have to say allegedly, although that is allegedly a horrible thing for a person to go through. I said also in the previous video that absorption through the skin is really worse when you think about it, especially if, like I said, he allegedly put that stuff in the lubricant and then put it near someone's genitals, their private parts, if you will, especially the back door area. That is direct absorption into the bloodstream. So there should be no wonder as to why people were reporting in these lawsuits that they were blacking out, they felt like they were paralyzed, that they could not move, that they felt limp after unknowingly ingesting or absorbing these drugs. And when you really think about it, it could have been as simple as, hey, you want some lotion? You look kind of ashy right now. I mean, I don't really need any, but I have some that smells nice. Okay, sure, whatever. And you not knowing that the lotion is already laced with something. And now you feel odd and you don't know why. And then you've been taken advantage of. You wake up without your clothes on. You have bruises. You're in a immense amount of pain. You don't know what's happening. You are confused. You're traumatized. It could be as simple as that for all people know. Now, there's something else this article mentioned that I wanted to point out. And I quote, Ariel Mitchell Kidd claimed in an interview with News Nation that Combs had squirted some type of lubricant or oil onto her client. End quote. I'm going to pause there. This is a lawyer who has been representing some of these victims. Y'all know I have to say alleged victims. Who mentioned something that she mentioned that her client mentioned to her that had happened allegedly. Y'all know I have to say allegedly during this time, during whenever this happened. And I'm sure she just mentioned this because she wanted to back up the claims of the alleged lacing of the drinks and the oil and the lubricant. And I quote, again, Combs had squirted some type of lubricant or oil onto her client, leading to her body becoming more and more limp. She felt that whatever the liquid was being squirted on her had something in it which essentially debilitated her and her faculties. Mitchell Kidd explained, end quote. Now, this article does say that, once again, and as I quote, while narcotics and baby oil were both mentioned separately in the federal indictment against Combs, prosecutors claimed that both were seized from his homes. In the federal raids, there were no details about the baby oil being laced, end quote. So they're trying to claim here, allegedly the prosecutors, that there was nothing wrong with the baby oil, despite all these people saying that the moment they put that stuff on, allegedly, they no longer were in control, that things were happening to them that they could not understand. And it's interesting to me, and by interesting I mean kind of shady, that the federal authorities would say that or mention that. I do understand that these are allegations and that there is a chance that maybe there wasn't anything in the baby oil. But then why, once again, did the federal authorities confiscate it? Once again, people keep saying allegations and that old people are still just trying to throw more dirt on him and make him more guilty of what he already is. But once again, the federal authorities don't just do stuff like that for no reason. Now, this article mentioned something about Cassie that I thought was very interesting. And I quote, similarly, in Cassandra Cassie Ventura's original lawsuit, filed back in November of 2023, she alleged that prior to Freakoff's sexual performances orchestrated by Combs, in which he allegedly forced victims to participate, the mogul's assistants would stock hotel rooms with baby oil and Astroglide. Ventura claimed that Combs, her boyfriend at the time, would instruct her to pour excessive amounts of oil over herself. She noted that Combs would supply her with drugs, including GHB, before Freakoffs, but did not mention anything about the baby oil being laced with drugs, end quote. So she didn't particularly mention anything about the baby oil being laced, although she did say he would make her douse herself in a lot of it before Freakoffs. Again, people might argue, well, maybe he just wanted her to be all oiled up. Maybe he thought that she looked really good all oiled up. But it is very questionable now. And it's because of all of what he's already done. I get so annoyed with people saying, oh, well, do y'all believe everybody that comes out? We already understand that, yes, there are people who will lie when it comes to allegations, but we're not allowing the few of those people who are doing that very awful thing to sway us when it comes to all of these other people who are real victims. We're not going to let a handful of liars stop us from fighting for justice for the actual many more victims, and also holding the people who have victimized them accountable for what they've done. It's real stupid to me when people say, oh, so you believe everybody? What is that supposed to do for us? Is that supposed to make us give up on the victims? Oh, well, because a couple of people lied, I guess now, so sorry for all the actual victims. Absolutely not. And that's exactly what these raggedy behind celebrities and the people who are victimizing people want us to do. But the joke's on them. We will not do it. Once again, before anybody wants to question the validity of victims or people coming forward, what people need to refocus their mind on is the reason why anybody would be able to lie on him to begin with, if they are, is because he put himself in a position to be lied on to begin with. It's hard for a person to lie on him and say he did X, Y, Z if he wasn't out here doing X, Y, Z. So once again, all these pity partiers who are talking about, oh, but what about the people who are lying? That doesn't even matter right about now. He done so much stuff, allegedly, to so many people, such brutality and heinousness. If anybody wants to be mad because somebody might be lying on him, it should be he himself. Once again, he put himself in this situation by doing what he did. If he would have been doing the right thing, nobody would be able to lie on him. And it's very questionable, quite frankly. Any person who's choosing to hyper-focus on some person who may or may not be lying. They don't even know for sure. Instead of, once again, the many more victims who are telling the truth. I'm not saying to not hold the liars accountable. I'm saying what's more important, and what's more important right now is getting the actual victims, the many actual victims, their justice, and making sure he doesn't make more victims. Now, his lawyers were doing what, lawyers do for people like P. Devil Combs, saying that, oh, our client is innocent. He's never hurt anybody. He hasn't hurt a child or an adult. That's what they're going to do. Anybody who actually gobbles that up, I question you as well. This is what lawyers who defend people like P. Devil Combs, once again, is going to do. They're being paid to make him look innocent, to make him seem like he's done nothing wrong, to say he's done nothing wrong. That doesn't mean we actually have to listen or believe them. Now, Tony Busby has doubled down and said that he's going to get down to the bottom of this, that there will be more cases coming out over the next couple of weeks. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Every single person that he's hurt, everybody who has filed a lawsuit in truth and genuineness, I hope they get all of the justice that they deserve. Whatever they're suing him for, I hope that they get it and then some. Every single man, woman, boy, and girl who he hurt, I hope and pray that they get the justice that they deserve. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.